In June 2025, a single image began circulating across international defense forums and social media feeds. The photograph, grainy but unmistakable, revealed a new chapter in the global race for air dominance. It was the clearest sighting yet of China's mysterious J-36 prototype, parked on a rain-slicked runway, canopy open, exposing a side-by-side cockpit and a triple-bay weapons arrangement that immediately set analysts buzzing. The timing could not have been more significant. Just as the world's attention turned to the gathering storm clouds over Asia, Beijing was sending an unmistakable message. The era of sixth-generation air power is no longer a Western monopoly, and China is ready to challenge the technological status quo. This was not the first appearance of the J-36. The prototype had been spotted sporadically since late December 2024, usually shrouded in heat haze at a remote Chengdu facility, or flashing by in a split-second satellite pass. But last week's image marked a turning point. It provided the first definitive proof of several rumored features. A split canopy housing two pilots, suggesting a complex mission profile. A wide, almost diamond-shaped wing reminiscent of the most advanced American concepts, and three internal weapons bays, a configuration hinting at both deep strike and airborne command capabilities. The implications of this sighting extend far beyond the technical. The J-36, with its tailless, flying wing design, is not merely another entry in the long list of next-generation aircraft. It is a symbol of China's intent to reshape not only the Asian balance of power, but also the global market for cutting-edge military aviation. Its side-by-side cockpit layout, almost unique among modern fighters, signals a departure from single-pilot dogfighting in favor of more complex, multi-role operations. This suggests the J-36 could function as an airborne command post, coordinating swarms of unmanned systems, managing electronic warfare, or even directing long-range hypersonic missile strikes. The aircraft's sheer size, as revealed by last week's photo, supports this assessment, indicating a platform designed for endurance, versatility, and strategic reach. Yet the true importance of the J-36 lies not just in its physical form, but in the speed and confidence with which it has moved from drawing board to prototype. Since its first public appearance in late 2024, the aircraft has reportedly completed a series of low-altitude taxi runs, landings, and even limited test flights. While U.S. officials have been quick to downplay the development, arguing that it does not alter America's own sixth-generation timeline, independent analysts warn that China's test program appears far more mature than many had anticipated. There is a growing sense that, barring major setbacks, the J-36 may achieve initial operational capability well before its American or European counterparts. This has profound consequences for regional security. China's J-36 is not being developed in a vacuum. Its appearance must be understood against the backdrop of intensifying rivalry with India, the United States, and their allies. The prototype's unveiling, especially in such a public, unambiguous fashion, was clearly intended as both a technological demonstration and a strategic statement. Beijing is signaling that it is not content to play catch-up in the field of stealth aviation. It aims to set the pace. The strategic context is crucial. In recent years, China has rapidly expanded its Air Force and Navy, fielding the J-20 stealth fighter and launching a second and third aircraft carrier. The J-36 represents the next phase of this buildup, a leap toward what military theorists call a system of systems approach, in which manned and unmanned platforms are integrated in real time to achieve dominance across the electromagnetic spectrum. The new prototype, with its distinctive flying wing, tri-jet exhaust, and sprawling weapons bays, appears purpose-built for this future, offering the range and payload to operate as a regional carrier in the sky. In response, India has unveiled a two-pronged strategy. The first component is the Advanced Medium Combat Aircraft, AMCA. a 5.5 generation stealth fighter approved in May 2025. The AMCA, designed as a 550 generation stealth fighter twin-engine, internally armed multi-role aircraft, is projected to make its first flight by 2035, with initial operational capability targeted for the early 2040s. The ambition is clear: to field a homegrown platform that can stand toe-to-toe with the best that China and the United States can offer. The program's scale is equally ambitious, with an initial production run of 126 aircraft planned. However, progress is far from assured. Key bottlenecks remain in the development of high-thrust engines, next-generation radar, and software integration. The AMCA's future success will depend on India's ability to resolve these technological challenges while maintaining a consistent funding stream and fostering effective collaboration between state-run and private aerospace firms. But Indian planners know that even a successful AMCA will only close part of the gap. The second, more forward-looking prong of India's strategy is to leapfrog directly into the sixth generation. Informed by the latest revelations about the J-36, the Defense Research and Development Organization, DRDO, has begun laying the groundwork for a new 30 to 35-ton fighter platform. This aircraft, still in the conceptual phase, is intended to surpass the AMCA and rival any Chinese or Western sixth-generation system. The vision is for a fighter that incorporates not only extreme stealth and long-range capabilities, but also directed energy weapons, advanced AI, and seamless drone integration. Indian defense officials have acknowledged that the unveiling of the J-36 has served as a wake-up call, accelerating the timeline for this project and spurring new investments in key enabling technologies. Despite these efforts, India faces a daunting uphill battle. The speed with which China has progressed from initial design to operational prototype is a testament to the depth and integration of its aerospace industry. China's ability to field and test such a sophisticated platform in less than a decade reflects not only massive state investment, but also a remarkable capacity for industrial coordination and technological risk-taking. By contrast, India's defense sector, while capable and ambitious, remains hamstrung by bureaucratic inertia, funding volatility, and a more fragmented supply chain. The technical hurdles are formidable. For the AMCA, the most critical challenge lies in the development of a suitable high-thrust engine. India is currently negotiating joint ventures with Western engine manufacturers such as GE and Safran, hoping to leverage foreign expertise to accelerate progress. But this approach is not without risks. Reliance on imported technology exposes India to the possibility of future sanctions or supply disruptions, especially in times of crisis. To achieve true strategic autonomy, Indian planners must find ways to indigenize core technologies without sacrificing speed or quality. International collaboration will also be essential. India's participation in joint ventures with the United States, France, Japan, and Israel can provide critical access to advanced materials, avionics, and manufacturing techniques. However, these relationships must be managed carefully to ensure that technology transfers lead to true capability gains and not just temporary solutions. Strategic partnerships should focus on building indigenous capacity, not fostering new dependencies. For China, the immediate priority should be to validate the J-36's capabilities in a contested environment. While early flights and static displays have demonstrated technical prowess, the true measure of the aircraft will be its performance alongside unmanned systems, in live war games, and under electronic attack. Beijing would be wise to resist the temptation to rush the J-36 into mass production or export before it is fully matured. Early deployment should focus on operational testing with the PLA, integrating the fighter into joint exercises and refining its systems architecture. China's long-term advantage will depend on its ability to exploit the J-36's potential as a mothership for networked operations, combining manned and unmanned assets into a single, coordinated force. This will require not only continued investment in AI and autonomous technologies, but also a sophisticated approach to information security and counter-stealth capabilities. China must be cautious in its public messaging, revealing enough to deter competitors without sparking an arms race or exposing vulnerabilities. The next decade will be decisive. If India can accelerate the AMCA program, resolve its engine and systems integration challenges, and begin work in earnest on a sixth-generation platform, strategic parity with China is within reach. Success will depend on India's willingness to break from past patterns, prioritize innovation, and forge meaningful partnerships both at home and abroad. Conversely, if India's efforts falter due to bureaucratic inertia, funding gaps, or technological stagnation, the consequences will be profound. China's J-36, already poised to become a regional command node, could cement Beijing's dominance of Indo-Pacific skies by the early 2030s. In this scenario, India would be forced into expensive foreign procurement, undermining its strategic autonomy and saddling its air force with a patchwork of platforms. The resulting gap in capability would not only limit India's ability to project power, but also diminish its leverage in regional diplomacy and alliance building. The stakes could hardly be higher. The contest unfolding between China and India is not simply about who fields the fastest or stealthiest jet. It is a competition over the future of Asian security, industrial capability, and technological leadership. As the J-36's unmistakable silhouette graced global headlines last week, it brought into sharp focus the need for both nations to invest in their own visions of air power, innovative, resilient, and strategically autonomous. The question now is which country will best adapt to this new reality? Will India seize the moment to modernize its defense establishment, embrace public-private partnership, and leap forward technologically? Or will China, with its head start and integrated industry, consolidate its lead and set the rules for the next era of aerial competition? The answer, in large part, will be determined in the laboratories, factories, and runways that stretch from Bengaluru to Chengdu. For policymakers, engineers, and pilots on both sides, the message is clear. The future is arriving faster than many dared imagine. The photograph from last week is not simply an artifact, it is a challenge. Those who fail to answer it risk being left behind, not only in the race for the skies, but in the broader contest for security and sovereignty in the Asian century. If you've made it this far, you know that air power is never just about metal and machinery. It is about vision, will, and the ability to turn tomorrow's dreams into today's reality. The next move, as always, belongs to those who are bold enough to make it.